Kane Pixels has blessed us with another upload. Today I'm going to be watching Backrooms Damage Control. As usual, this video is going to have a bunch of pauses and analysis and reaction and commentary. So if you don't want to see any of that, if you want to watch the video in its entirety by yourself, then the link will be the first thing you see in the description. But without further ado, let's take a look at this new video.
Mark, this is Team A. Do you read us?
Hey team, this is Mark. I read you. What is it? We need immediate armed support in room 14C. My team now being held at gunpoint by a hostile. I repeat, please send immediate armed support to room 14C. Your
This is...
For that panel, it should connect.
Oh. So we're seeing it from the other perspective then. Oh, shoot. Interesting. It's like a direct continuation now. Oh, I'm excited. I feel like we're gonna get some good answers here. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to start connecting everything together, you know? I'm also wondering how ASYNC handles this. Is that him? I think that might be him. The guy who shot, right? Yeah, it is. Bro. He's trying to escape, but where's he's leaving. Where's he gonna go? Huh. Yeah, he is out of there, dude. Just dipping out of there. Oh, yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah, now they're trying to find him, of course. What are they gonna do to him when they find him? Oh, dude, he is gone. Oh, oh, oh! And he made it out. Dude, this is so intriguing.
I'd like to thank you all once again for your patience on this. It has been a stressful 15 hours for all of us here, and while he cannot currently be with us, Dr. Beck sends his apologies regarding the numerous inconveniences caused by our decision to keep you here overnight. Now, it appears that the situation has reached a point of some stability. We're still looking into a few things, but I feel that we can now properly address what occurred without running into speculation. What happened last night should not have happened. Not here, not with us. What occurred was a gross misunderstanding that was the result of some severe information mismanagement.
Yeah.
Even now, I believe most of you still have an incomplete idea of what took place last night. So before I fill you in, I need to address the fact that there has been information deliberately withheld from many of you on the project.
See, this is textbook. This is a company trying to avoid all fault, miscommunication, information mismanagement. At least they're kind of owning up to it and saying that they deliberately withheld information from people. But ASYNC isn't going to get very far if they continue down this path of just straight up lying to people, especially when their company is tied into the government, into the US government. Like, you can't be doing stuff like that. You can't be withholding information. Everything has to be above board.
Now, these choices were not made lightly and were done for only the best of reasons.
Yeah, sure.
However, I want to make it abundantly clear that following the events of last night, it has been proven to us that that method of conducting ourselves was not viable.
Okay.
So, I'm coming to you now to correct this mistake and begin delivering the authentic order of events as we understand them. On the morning of March 1st, a team of 4 researchers was sent into the complex to conduct a routine layout analysis. George Levy, Marvin Lee, Ronald McCarthy, and Peter Tench. At around 12:25 p.m., the group realized that they had lost track of Tench while traversing a previously accessed branch of hallways. As you'll recall, this prompted an immediate withdrawal of response back to standard, followed by several days of significant search efforts. However, those ultimately yielded nothing, and as far as any of us were concerned, Tench had simply vanished, leaving no physical trace. For obvious reasons, that wasn't something that we could disclose to the public. So roughly 2 weeks following his disappearance, our security team was forced to put together a more acceptable cause of death that would keep attention away from this institute and provide closure to the family.
Yep.
So that is all close to common knowledge, I presume. Not all of you were with us at the time of the incident. However, you're certainly aware of the effects it has had on our internal procedures over the past few months. Regardless, that was where Tench's involvement in this came to an end. Or, at least, that's what we assumed.
And then he turned up.
Because on May 8th, at approximately 5:30 p.m., a motion alert was sent out from the complex, which was closed off at the time. One of our senior engineers was sent down to assess the situation and discovered a male dressed in hazard gear who we were able to identify as Peter Tench. Immediately following this discovery, Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor where, over the following days, a select group of doctors were able to administer a panel of tests in order to determine what had happened to Peter in the 2 months he had been gone.
Okay.
Those tests yielded very little useful information. By all measures, Peter appeared to be in excellent health. However, we were still provided one very useful tool in understanding how the situation unfolded from his perspective. Some of you may recall that on the day of his disappearance, Tench was his team's designated camera operator. Well, when we recovered him, he still had that camera in his possession, and in fact had documented the entire ordeal.
Yeah.
Footage will be presented in its entirety later today. However, for the purpose of this discussion, I will only be highlighting key events.
So he's talking right now about informational video. I believe it's informational video. But there was an interesting shot that I saw here. And this, I believe, is from the Backrooms Motion Detected. It's another video by Kane. I'm wondering, because there was a moment at the very end where you see what looks like a pair of legs coming down, and it seemed to be like somebody no-clipping. I'm kind of wondering if that was Peter. I have to double check the timeline and everything. I could be completely wrong. It could just be some random person who no-clipped into the Backrooms. But I feel like all these videos are far more connected than I maybe once thought.
This is the hallway where Peter was last seen.
Yeah, this is the
There are
footage.
you, but you can hear the others walking behind him. Now, as he approaches the branch on the right here, pay close attention to the audio.
You guys can hear this?
Yeah, this is when he hears all that talking. And then you'll see they just disappear in a flash.
Guys, can you hear this? Hey!
There we go.
Now, I'd like to save the discussion for afterwards, but what you just saw is what we believe to be the moment that Peter was instantaneously transported 2 months forward in time.
Ah, yeah, it's all coming
Following
together.
that abrupt flash you just saw, Tench proceeds back out into the hallway in search of his team, but is without any indication of their presence. The next 30 or so minutes of the tape follow a fairly panicked Tench as he attempts to navigate his way back to the threshold. He does obviously find his way back. However, the threshold appears not as he knows it, but as it appeared on the date of May 8th. And this ties us back to the moment when we recovered him.
Interesting.
So, to summarize, from his point of view, he had only been inside the complex for several hours. So to him, all of the new developments surrounding the threshold were completely foreign. Luckily, though, as I already mentioned, there were people available to manage the situation as it unfolded. And over the course of the following days, we were able to properly sit down with Peter and work with him to gain a collective understanding of what had happened.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like they're setting up some kind of observational devices to see what was going on here. From what I understand, this is in a null zone, and I'm not 100% certain about what that means, but I know that in a null zone, it's pretty typical for time skips to happen. So I wonder exactly what they're trying to measure here with these devices, but now I'm confused because, and we'll probably get more answers deeper in the video, but I'm confused because they said that Peter worked with them to kind of figure out what was going on. The only thing that I can think is that maybe they refused to let him see his family again because they told everyone that he died. And maybe that's why he just went completely insane, ran back into the back rooms to escape them and whatever they might have done to him after the fact. I mean, we can already tell based on the spokesperson here that ASYNC isn't the most transparent with the things that they say and how they say them. So they could just be lying straight up to everyone about what they did with Peter when they found him. Because why would Peter go insane like that? Hopefully we get some more answers in the video. Let's go.
However, there was still the very significant fact that Mr. Tench was considered legally deceased as a result of the cover story, and reversing that would be no easy feat.
Yep.
He understood this and was willing to cooperate while we looked for a way to reintegrate him without raising suspicion. Unfortunately, though, that process ended up taking quite a bit longer than we had anticipated. And all the while, Peter was sucked out here, waiting idly by. We did our best to keep him engaged, but it is hard to combat the effects of prolonged sensory deprivation on the human brain. And as a result, Peter's mental state took a toll. Not to a degree that was outright concerning at first, but around the end of week 2, we noticed that he was starting to exhibit a number of behaviors common in patients diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Though we don't have reason to believe that Mr. Tench was afflicted with that condition. Whatever the case, while he didn't express it outright, from what we could gather, he appeared to have deluded himself into believing that he was still inside some sort of illusion created by the complex, and that we were secretly looking to do him harm. This all came to a head on the night of the 22nd, when, while Tench was finally about to be transferred to a temporary above-ground residence, he broke away from us and, using stolen credentials, forced his way back into the complex where he would go undiscovered until just last night.
Wow.
When he ambushed and violently attacked Team B in room 14C, leaving Dr. Bloom in critical condition.
Oh, is he alive?
We can presume that during the 2 or so days Tench spent in the complex, he let go of the idea that he could somehow escape through an alternate threshold, but still held on to the belief that all of us here were working to trap him in some way, despite our actions saying exactly the opposite.
Alternate threshold?
Immediately after firing a single shot from the Remington 870 to Dr. Bloom's side, Tench fled the scene and headed to the threshold outpost, where he would turn the weapon on several more of you while progressing into standard and through the lower offices. Given the abrupt and chaotic nature of the unfolding situation, it took our security team several moments longer than it ideally should have to figure out what was happening. But thankfully, while Tench was passing through one of the empty labs next to storage, Dr. Maxwell was able to act quickly and managed to disarm him, accidentally discharging the weapon into the ceiling in the process, though. However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension, fleeing into the maintenance wing and evading our security staff by taking the freight elevator to the surface. Now, this situation could have played out very badly given the potential number of witnesses around the building at the time. But luckily for everyone involved, as far as we can tell, Tench was not noticed as he exited the property. Around 5 minutes later, our security team made it to the ground floor and began a thorough sweep in the direction of the hillside where cameras had last observed Tench. Now, there's no easy way to say this other than to just say it. I am terribly sorry to inform you all, but Mr. Tench was found deceased halfway down the hillside. The result of an extreme blow to the head.
I don't know.
It appears that while he was running through some brush, he failed to anticipate a sudden dip in the ground and tragically fell forward into a large rock.
I don't trust it.
Given the circumstances, it was not something any of us could have anticipated or prevented. The tragedy of the entire situation undoubtedly remains, but Dr. Tench, regardless of how troubled he was in his final days, was a brilliant man who gave his all to this project. He would certainly not want us hindering it in his name. What we're doing here is so much bigger than any one person. It is the work of a unified effort, and we need to ensure that that is never lost sight of. that we hold on to the pre-established notion that Peter is and has been deceased. That is done, and there is nothing more to be extracted.
I don't trust it. Whoa, 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 whoa. We gotta look at every single frame here, dude. We can't mess around. That's nothing. What is that? It's so hard to tell. And there's something down below over here. I'm gonna see what I can do about figuring out what that says. I'm gonna have to figure it out in editing. This is like some of the other drawings we were seeing in this video, and it's just a messy desk. This seems to be a woman on some CCTV footage and the same image as before. Oh, okay, I was wrong. It wasn't a woman. It was a guy in a hazmat suit. And then this looks to be a busy street. Is that Peter? My thing is, I feel like ASYNC is completely lying about either about Peter dying or about how he died. They've already shown that they can't be trusted, but what? Yeah. Okay. That's gotta be Peter. Why would this be showing right here? They straight up lied. At least that's what I can gather. What is this all about? Just a phone. Confused. Oh, okay. So all right, well, it looks like there's no extra video. Normally, Kane puts a video in the description if there's like some kind of secret thing to find, but I still can't shake the feeling that ASYNC is doing another cover up here. I mean, it just seems far too convenient that Peter fell and hit his head and died. I'm wondering if the comments have anything to say. It seems like people are pointing out that there are specific parts of this video that show a lot of similarities between autopsy report. And I'm an idiot because there are subtitles in the video. Oh, and I'm gonna have to make myself do so much work to put subtitles in, but you know what? It's worth it. Tuala Trout says, this was the perfect closure to Peter. Yes, the detail about him dying from the stumble may be a cover-up. It shows that ASYNC was methodical and cautious while studying the time warp and trying to assimilate Peter, all while keeping the project running as smoothly as practical. ASYNC isn't some over-exaggerated cartoon villain shadow organization that only cares about the money, power, and higher-ups. Major props for writing a compelling monologue. See, while I agree, I don't know about this. I feel like ASYNC is showing time and again that money is a big motivator for what they're doing here. And maybe not even just money, but status, the status of their company. Obviously, they don't want the company to go under, but to cover things up in such a way is very nefarious. I gotta say, I really like how much information we got in this video, and I'm taking a bit of it with a grain of salt because I don't trust ASYNC. That's why I'm wearing their shirt. In all seriousness, I feel like there's just, they're hiding a bunch of stuff here, and I really want to figure out what that is. Especially when it comes to Peter. I don't know that I can 100% say without any shadow of a doubt that Peter is actually dead. But I guess this is where the trail of breadcrumbs lies, and we're gonna have to see what comes next to figure out a bit more here. But yeah, again, I really love these exposition style videos where we just get a bunch of information dumped on us all at once. Especially this one because it confirms a lot of the suspicions that people who have been watching this and who have been trying to theorize have come up with. But again, I feel like there's just more lying underneath the surface here that we have yet to figure out, and that we're not being told. The answers aren't being given to us. But yeah, for now, I think that's where I'm going to leave it here. This was really interesting, and I can't wait to see more from Kane. I am such a huge fan of this series. And yeah, as always, if you guys want to see the video for yourselves, be sure to check the link down below in the description. There's going to be a link to this video, to the entire Backrooms playlist, and to Kane's channel itself. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate the support you all show me on this channel every single day. You guys mean the world to me. If you happen to enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button down below. Leave me a little comment. Let me know how you feel. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. Once again, I thank you all so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Take it easy.